guys, and welcome to the Nordic Stitches podcast, episode 9. Today is the 30th of October. And I'm Lily. I'm a knitting designer based in mid-Norway, Scandinavia, and that is where I'm bringing you this podcast from. You can find me here. And we have a Ravelry group. It is growing and it will become hopefully very active, and I'll come back to that later in the podcast. Before I start podcasting today, I want to say a big thank you to Nina from Finland. She hosts the Nina N knitting podcast, and she's a darling. She films outside in the forest. That is cool. She was kind enough to mention me on her podcast. She had some very nice words and kind words about me and my designs, so thank you, Nina. I really appreciate it. For this week I have a finished project, a pair of vanilla socks. I call them my plain vanilla latte socks, I think. I have a picture for them here. And I have them on my project page on Ravelry, and I'll be linking to that in the box below this video. So if you want to check out the podcast show notes, you might want to go and check out the Ravelry groups. I was supposed to have another finished project, but something came up this week and set my course a little differently, so it's not finished, but it will be finished next week. I can promise you that. So yeah. But I do have, it was a finished project last time, but I didn't feel it was okay for me to show it to you because the test knitting period wasn't over yet. But I've been test knitting a beanie pattern designed by Emilia from the Arctic Knitting podcast, also here in Norway. She's in northern Norway, and she requested test knitters, and I figured, you know what, I'm gonna give that a go. And this is how my beanie turned out. Don't pay attention to the baby-sized head in comparison to the old adult-sized hat. Also, this is a very amateur dyeing of yarn of mine. As you can see, it starts off darker and it goes up to all of a sudden being very light and speckled. So yeah, I haven't blocked it. No idea why. I'm not going to put it on my head today because my head is perfect the way it is. But this is the hat that Emilia designed, or the beanie that Emilia designed. She hasn't released the pattern yet, so if you want to be sure to grab your hands on the pattern when it arrives, go to her podcast, and I think it was a previous episode. Yeah, I think it was so. But she's on Ravelry as well, so finished project from last week. The other finished project I have is not knitting or crochet, but it is sewing. Massive Christmas bag! Look how massive this is. This is a, bed size blanket cover size. It has a box bottom, big box bottom, and a snowflake fabric, Santa fabric, and it has a little God Jul ribbon on there. God Jul means Merry Christmas. So yeah, I did not nail the zipper completely on this one. It's a little off right there. On this side, it sticks a little out, but it's okay. It's not a gift. It's going to be for me. I just reacted to that spider on the wall. Yeah, it's a fake spider, Lily. You made it yourself. That's right, I did. Okay, and in the Christmas bag, I have 2 more Christmas bags. One, no, I have to save that for last. One, I don't actually prefer with these Because you know what? I live in Norway, it's the Arctic. Very few times during the year I'm going to be able to actually hold my hands out like this and knit. Not only because it gets very cold here, but we also get our share amount of rain. So I won't be keeping up all the handles, but it's lined with the snowflake fabric from the previous bag, which is so gorgeous. I almost nailed the zipper, just got a little off course right here. And it has a red polka dot bottom and a very Nordic inspired or Scandinavian inspired cross stitch like ribbon across. Very pretty. I'm not going to start using them before the first Sunday of Advent or the 1st of December. I think actually the first Sunday of Advent this year, because that comes before the 1st of December. Doesn't always. And then project bag number 3. I nailed the zipper. Yes, I did. I have to. I just have to. So this one has the tiny Santa fabric, and I know that you Americans and maybe even anybody else that speak English call these elves, but we call them tiny Santas. Look at those tiny little Santas. They are so adorable. And it has this white with red polka dots bottom of course. And it has the God Jul, Merry Christmas. Why are you not focusing, camera? Ribbon across. And I nailed the zipper. Look at that. Look at that. Right there. And right there. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So yeah, those were the Christmas project bags that I will be using for myself this year. I have 2 whips. The first one I started on Monday when I went to get my hair cut, because it's a lot shorter. I took off about 15 to 20 centimeters of hair because it was almost down to my... and I got so sick and tired of waking up in the middle of the night because my hair was in there and my hand was like that and I was twisting my head and I was actually waking myself up because I was pulling my own hair. And it looked like I hadn't done a lot with it for a lot of years, so I wanted more life to it, and I think I got that. And I haven't been to a hairdresser for at least 4 years. Maybe 3. So yeah. So I brought with me to the hairdresser in case there was waiting, which it wasn't. So this is, I haven't done anything with it since I was in the hairdresser salon. I even stopped in the middle of the road because she said, I'm ready now. I was there an hour before my actual appointment, so I got kind of lucky. So this will be an Advent, matchy, Advent washcloth in light purple. It will be, it doesn't show very well right now, but it will be a mock rib washcloth because it's a flat fabric and I love the mock rib texture, I really do. So sometime before Advent that will be finished and it lives in my, I don't have a name for this. Should I just call it pink? Project bag. Flowery, very summery. And then there is my biggest whip of the week and probably month. I have never knitted a kofta. A kofta is the Norwegian name for a knitted cardigan. I have been an avid knitter for over a decade now. I'm a knitting designer and I've never knitted a kofta. Something wrong with that picture. So I figured, so I went on to the online store that I prefer because going all the way into Trondheim to get that yarn is not an option for me. One of the yarn stores that I used got closed. So when The other yarn store that I use didn't have the yarn. I went online to buy it. But I did send a message to my yarn shop that I use and asked if they have the pattern. And they did. So I went there to get the pattern. It lives inside this folder. It's from Sondnes Garn, which is a Norwegian, I believe, yarn provider. They make yarn and they have designers that make patterns for them. And this is called Norwegian Icons. I won't be flipping through it. If you want me to flip through it, just leave a comment down below this video or in the Ravelry group. So yeah. And my pattern is the Nancy kofta, or we say Nancy. Nancy. And it is a beauty. It is very popular to knit here. And it's this one. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen me post a picture of it with my teacup and my swatch. So the small size were a little bit too small and the medium size were a little too big. So I went down 2 stitches on the gauge on the medium. So I'm hoping that will fit. Also, I bought the yarns. I'm going to show you that. But I did have a lot of this yarn already in my stash, so I think that I'm going to include some of that. But I have these buttons. Now, the medium size says that you're supposed to use 9 buttons, and I have 8, and I really want to use these buttons. I bought them off of eBay and I really want to use them. So, and I've been waiting for the project that I feel is perfect for them, and I think that this is the perfect project, and I've been to eBay and tried everything I could to find these buttons again, and I can't. And for some reason, eBay won't let you go back a few years. I think I bought these buttons 2 years ago, and they won't let me go back 2 years, at least for the time being, to see what I got. So I will be trying again. I will not give up. I want to use these buttons. Okay, I can show you the yarn first. This is for the body. So again, I chose to go with the baby merino from Drops. It is so soft against my skin. I love it. It is a superwash treated extra fine merino wool, but I do believe it says hand wash, doesn't it? Superwash. No, it doesn't say anything. It says it can be washed in the machine, but I don't think so. No. For a rough winter sweater, yeah, but not for a kofta. So this will be for the body. It is the color 17. And I chose these 3 for the patterning. I already have this and this and this, but not in the dye lot, and I didn't have enough, I thought. So, but I think, give me a second, that I'm going to add this from my stash. What do you think? So together, just uno momento, por favor. My goodness, this was not easy. So I think this will be a very pretty kofta. What do you think? Before I move on, to announcements, because I have some of those this week. I am going to taste that green goo right there. It's perfect Halloween food. Perfect Halloween food. It was sent to me from Brittany in Texas, so Brittany, thank you. And just because you were such a darling and sent this to me, I'm gonna taste it on camera. Just need to check that my tea is drinkable in case I need to wash it down. So this is pistachio taste. I think this is the one without the calories. I'm starting with that one just in case. Instant pudding. Check this Halloween food out. Ugh. Oh my god. I'm such a wuss when it comes to food like this. Okay, I think it even has some whole nut pieces in there, and yeah, okay, so here it goes. Oh, sweet lord. The tea is wonderful. The tea was sent to me from Shauna, who has the Adelaide Cottage. Hey! That was a very good match. It was sent to me from Shauna, who has the Adelaide Cottage podcast, because I ordered a bag from her and she included tea. Now the pudding isn't bad when you drink this tea, so what tea is it? Okay, so it's Tazo or Tazo or Tazo. I have no idea how to pronounce this, but it's flavored with organic baked cinnamon apple. And I did say on the podcast where I show you her bag and the tea that she sent that I was going to say this for Halloween. Now it is 30th, but tomorrow's Monday, so this wasn't bad at all. Very nice. Not so good. Exceptionally good. Together, tolerable. Tolerable. Green goo. It's a Halloween podcast. That's better. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to eat all that. I'm going to try the caloried one because I'm thinking I'm going to like that a little better. I'll be right back. So the first one was this. It has 12 what? It has 20 calories. And it is now nicely organized in the bin. Sugar-free and fat-free. Now to the no artificial sweeteners, no high fructose corn syrup, same great taste, 100 calories, pistachio jello, instant pudding. Yeah, so okay, let's see if I like this one better. Ooh, oh, that's right, I have acquisitions. They just fell on the floor. I forgot about those. How on earth do you forget about acquisitions? It must be the hat. Okay, let's try the... Okay. Same gooey consistency. You shall not play with your food, Mama said. It's Halloween. And my cat needs to use the toilet, so I'm just going to wait a little. Cat's toilet tea break intermittent. Okay, let's try these green gooey stuff. Now, oh gosh, I am not looking forward to this. Oh. The tea didn't really help. I think what impresses me the most about these, and Brittany, I know that you're laughing right now. I think what impresses me the most about these is the fact that people eat it voluntarily. So I'm just going to put those back there. I won't ever forget them. Now that's for sure. Okay. And because it's Halloween-ish today, I will open one. The Coca-Cola bottles. Haribo Happy Cola Minis. And oh, I don't know what's in those, but thank you to Nora George Yarns for providing me with these super artificial tasty candies. So apparently, of course, those skeins that I bought for my nansekofte is also acquisitions, because I did buy them. Well, they came in the mail last weekend after I podcasted this. Or did they come on Monday? No, they came on Monday. I went to the hairdresser, I picked up the pattern, and on my way home I picked up my mail, which was the yarn. It was a very eventful day. So, let's see what else I got. First of all, when I got to pick up the pattern, that was the only thing I was going to get. And then, I think it was the last episode, or maybe it was the episode before that, I mentioned that the yarn store finally had gotten in some of the yarns from Jarbo, which is a Swedish brand. And now she's gotten in more colors. So she has these. How can you go home without these, right? So, but I'm thinking these will make very cool vanilla socks. So that is exactly what I'm going to do with that. If time allows me before Christmas, which I'll be back to, I will be making that. If you're interested, the blue one, oh, this is such a beautiful blue. Look at that blue. Oh, look at my Halloween nails together with the blue. It looks so pretty, yeah. 75% wool and 25% polyamide. It has the color 28344. And it recommends knitting needles 3 millimeters, crochet hook 4 millimeters, and it is yarn weight 4. You can probably not see that. Yeah. So it's 100 grams and it has a 260 meterage. And of course the information for the green one is the same, but the green one is color 28343. So I have mentioned her before. She's my favorite Norwegian designer. Britta Mikkelborg. She also has an online store where you can buy yarn, needles, and stuff. So she had this, it wasn't any yarn in the category, so I basically just stocked her store. So when it was back in, I grabbed 4 hanks. Yeah. It is undyed yarn. I'm just going to show you one hank. Can you see the sparkle? Can you see the sparkle? I hope you can see the sparkle. It is so pretty. Why am I whispering? So yeah, you can see it has some pretty sparkles here. It doesn't have a name, so I can name it, but I don't think I will do that because I plan on making another kofta. So 3 of the hanks will go to the kofta, and then I will dye. I don't want to dye this yarn. It's so darn pretty in nature. So I may just keep these 3 in undyed and dye this up in, I want to dye it naturally, so with onion peels or something like that. And I'm going to use that for the patterning. Probably not all of it. So 1 hank is 100 grams. It recommends needles 2 to 3 millimeters. It can be machine washed on 40 degrees Celsius, and it is 1 skein of 100 grams and 400 meters. It is not, it's tolerable with a thin sweater underneath, so I do believe I want to use this for a kofta. It has 71% of wool, 24% polyamide, and 5% polyester. And it has a silver thread, which of course I prefer. Look at that glitter, that is so pretty. Okay, so those were the acquisitions for this week. And now I have some announcements. I am so excited about this. I cannot believe I've been sitting like this throughout the entire episode. I have probably more than once told you that I really want to move away from here. And now I'm moving! Ah! Yes, I am! So, okay, that's the out of the way. I've been so lucky as to been given permission to rent a house in Vesterålen, Norway. I lived there 2 years ago. I moved back here from Vesterålen, probably you want to say if you're English speaking. And I've missed it and I've regretted it every single day since. And I am going to move back. It is a super long drive. So it will take a little bit out of both me, the driver, and my cat, but she's happy just as long as she's near me, so that is not a problem. She loves packing. She's been running around and sniffing boxes and hopping into the boxes and helping me with packing and stuff, because when I was promised the house, I started packing immediately, and to be fair, I started packing before because I was pretty sure I was gonna make it before Christmas. So everything I'm not using every day is just going to be packed. So this is probably the last week you will see my craft room like this. Next week you will just be seeing the desk behind me. Because I want to make sure that I get the packing out of the way right now, and so that I can relax and knit just before I move, so that I'm rested before I move, because I do have fibromyalgia, and in my case, that has knocked me completely out. I'm actually disabled because of it. I am unable to get up in the morning and go to work because of it. So yeah, I'm moving back to Vesterålen. So of course, my podcast schedule may be affected by this. The content of the podcast will be affected by this because I'm going to focus on very few projects from this point on. I'm going to start a new project, one new project before the Christmas, and that is a shawl in bluish tones that I'm going to knit along for the Knitting for a Cause KAL, hosted by Shauna, who I previously mentioned, who hosts the Adelaide Cottage podcast, and I need a sip of tea. The projects that I'm going to focus on from this point on is my Nancy kofta, my almost not started, but started, however, washcloths for Advent. We don't use them just for washcloths or for dishcloths. We can knit several ones and color code them, so we have some for dusting, some for cleaning, some for just wiping the countertops in the kitchen. We just multi-use our washcloths here. It's amazing. We don't use the ones in the shower for the kitchen, just, to put it out there. We have one for each. Yeah. But I'll also be knitting on the shawlette, as I said, and yeah, Nancy kofta, shawlette, washcloths, and if I finish the Nancy kofta in good time and I find some way of dyeing up the one hank of glitter yarn, I may just start a kofta and knit that throughout the Christmas. But I am moving, so the next big, exciting announcement is I'm gonna host my first KAL. Yes! Let's do a Far Isle KAL. Anything Far Isle. Anything. And it has to be maximum 50% finished by the 1st of November. So the KAL will go from 1st of November to the 31st of December. So on 1st of January I will be using a random number generator, and I will be drawing a winner. I will be opening a chatter thread, I will be opening an FO thread for the first, my time first. I'll always go by my time, because that's just easier. And yeah, so what else? I'll be, of course, writing down all the rules, but I can go through some of them here. The amount of prizes will vary on how many entries there are. If you are a maker and you want to contribute to the prize pool for this KAL, please send me a PM on Ravelry or on Instagram or on Facebook, and I'm sure we can get to some agreement. The The amount of prizes isn't determined yet. Yeah, so, but I will be grabbing some yarn from my stash because I have some very cool yarn that I want to give away that is just not going to get used by me, and it's just not fair to this yarn to be stashed away. So I'm going to give it away. The rules are quite simple. You need to knit something far out. Keep the chatter to the chatter thread and only post the pictures and information about the pattern if you want to, and yarn of course, in the FO thread. Make sure everything in the FO thread is just in one post, because more than one post per person is not allowed. Anyone who goes against the rules will be disqualified and removed from the threads. Any project that naturally comes in twos, like mittens and gloves and socks, needs to be entered as a pair. So if it naturally comes as a pair, you need to enter it in the FO thread as a pair. And as I mentioned, it cannot be more than 50% finished before the 1st of November. Preferably, you start it 1st of November. Now I can't say you have to because I'm going to knitting along with my Nancy Kofte, which I have the half sleeve of. You need to be a member of the Nordic Stitches podcast Ravelry Group. There's a link down below to the group because that is where I put my show notes. You will have to pay attention. It's not necessary to be subscribing to my channel here on YouTube, but it will help you because this right here or up there is where I'm going to be announcing the winner. I won't be writing to you, I won't be tagging you or ear burning you or whatever Ravelry calls it in Ravelry. I will be drawing the winners here in the podcast only. So if you want to make sure that you know you won, you need to watch the podcast. I don't think the hashtag is taken. If it is, I'll just put on screen what else to use because we do like to brag about our projects on Ravelry and I really want to do that too. So I'll be hashtagging my kofta with the hashtag Faral 2016 KAL on Ravelry. Yes. I think, people, that was it for this week. No! Oh my goodness, I really want to mention this. And this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. After I'm finished talking, I went hiking, of course. Tuesday was the last day with sunny, extremely nice fallish weather here. Then came the wind, and then came the rain, and it has been pouring down ever since. Besides from this actual moment where I'm podcasting, so thank you. So, what I wanted to mention before I got to the hiking videos, I don't know what took me so long, but this week I started watching the Hugh Loco podcast. She is a very down-to-earth, very calm, beautiful person to watch, and I really do recommend her. I was bench watching. Do you call it binge watching or bench watching? I'm just going to put it on here, the differences, because I've been saying bench watching, like sitting on the bench, just keep watching it, which for me is very logical. Which also probably is very wrong. So, she had one of her not too far away in the distance episodes, she showed off some books she had, I think it was in a garage sale or a thrift store or something. She had bought these Vogue knitting books. It has, I think it's 6 books, and I'm going to post a picture here. So those are totally on my wish list for 2017. Which brings me to, there will be a new KAL from the 1st of January, and I only know, only me knows for how long. And I will not be announcing the new KAL until, I can say Christmas, because I probably will do a podcast in Christmas. I don't think I have any more to add. Thank you so much for tuning in, taking the time out of your day and spending it here with me. I really do appreciate your company. Thank you to everyone who has become a member in the Ravelry Group. Thank you to every single person who has commented and liked and told me that I am fit to be on camera and thanking me for being such a bubbly person on camera so that they can come in here when they have a bad day to lift their spirits. I really do hope you come in here if you don't have a bad day as well. But thank you so much. It really does mean a lot to me, and yeah, it really does mean a lot to me because this has become the highlight of my week. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for making this sort of worthwhile, I guess. I don't think I would have continued doing this if people hadn't responded. So don't just necessarily think that you are going to respond to me, because I will respond back. So yeah, thank you again so much for tuning in. That's it for this week, people. Thank you so much for watching, and whoever you are, wherever you are, be kind, be good,